Okay, you guys, we are now doing Saltburn spoilers.
Aruga.
If you have seen Saltburn and want to get into it with us, this is the place to be. If you have not seen Saltburn and just want to know, but if you just want to know, because I think there's a lot of buzz out there about some very specific stuff. So we're going to get into it. So thanks for being here. And if you are a channel member, you're seeing this early. If you are not a channel member, this is the kind of stuff you can see early. So hit join and hang out with us. We would love to see you. We have various levels with goodies at each one. So we're enjoying getting to know you guys better that way. Okay. Saltburn spoilers. This movie lasts about 10 minutes longer than it should, right? Like there's a great place for it to end. And then she takes our hand and she like walks us through what she has already just shown us. Like, I feel like the tantalizing ambiguity of what this person may or may not have done is so much more interesting than going back in time and spelling it out for us and showing it to us.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was kind of clever to go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, I think it was kind of clever to at least show us that the bike tire being punctured was, you know, he orchestrated all that. Like that was useful. And I think even just that much is sufficient to indicate that he had the wheels in motion all along.
Absolutely.
Right. And so I don't need them to like have her show me everything he did. And then like when Rosamund Pike is in the hospital bed and he pulls the tube out of her, like, isn't that gonna show up like in I don't know, like in
everything else,
I don't know.
Everything else he's done like was stealthy and he covered his tracks. That one's like, dude, you're getting sloppy now. Like, but yeah, I was rolling my eyes at the sort of flashback stuff. I'm like, because once you know he's lying about the parents, like he has this whole story about how his father is like, you know, dead and his mother's a drug addict and, you know, he hasn't seen them in a long time. Like that's his whole sort of poor scholarship kid story to make the rich guy like him. And then the rich guy ambushes him with the trip to his house. And you find out, no, the parents are just sort of middle-class suburban bores. You know, once we know that is a lie, we can pretty much cobble together the rest of it. But no, the fact that, and I wonder, like, do we think that's like studio notes, or do we think that's just Fennell being like, no, they need to know?
I think it's the latter, because I feel like this was, you know, a thing that was shot on location, and like, you know, it's a big lavish production out in the middle of nowhere at this house and all that. So I don't know, like, did they go back and reshoot it at this castle? I don't know. I feel like maybe it was just like, I'm really proud of this. Haha, look what I did. And Promising Young Woman a little bit does that too, though.
Well, I mean, Promising Young Woman, that movie, yes. Well, I think there's a lot that I don't like about it, but a lot of it is the not leaving anything up to any kind of ambiguity. And so that's certainly what we're getting here. I'm just saying, but even at the script stage, it could be a thing where they said, you know, you really need to go back and show the audience where the blah, 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 blah. But yeah, no, you're right. This is the woman who wrote Promising Young Woman. She may well have decided that we needed that. And so, you know, so yeah, that's an issue. You know,
and the fact that she's cast Barry Keoghan makes it clear that he's a predatory figure, right?
Being
a weirdo is his bread, right? Being like dangerous weirdos are his bread and butter.
Yeah,
right?
like,
So I think just the fact that he is there lets us know.
Yes, he wandered in from, you know, killing of a sacred deer. It's like, well, obviously, you know, that was part of the appeal of Matt Damon in Talented Mr. Ripley, was that he usually plays like, you know, blandly heroic types.
Let's talk about the body fluids. Let's talk about the bathtub scene, because it's going to get people talking. Like, I mean, I don't mind the thing with him going down on Venetia when she's having her period, and the thing with him like slurping up the, you know, cum tainted bath water. Like, I'm okay with all of that, because I feel like it's bold and it shows that he is truly a vampire, right?
Yeah.
Like literally like draining them dry. And so yeah. And so I was like, oh, we're going to do this. Okay. And then like what he does to Farley. So I can see how some people would think it was really silly. Wesley Morris at the New York Times wrote this brilliant takedown of this film, because he's Wesley Morris, but he thought this was just incredibly silly, all of that stuff. What do you think about that part?
I bought it. I think it goes in with the atmosphere that Fennell is giving you of just this guy who's such an opportunist and so like wanting to be as intimately involved with this family as possible, and so taking it to that level. And you've always heard the expression, "Oh, I would drink his bathwater," but like he really doesn't.
Literally. And we also have to talk about the scene, the very, very end, the very lengthy tracking shot of very naked Barry Keoghan dancing around the castle, which is now his.
Yes.
I mean, so now what? So like he's totally alone. Did he fire Duncan? Like, is Duncan not going to come and see him dancing naked around the house? The servant who's in charge of the place?
Well, he's the boss, so it doesn't matter if Duncan's seen worse, I'm sure, over the years. If anything, I was I thought that the way to end this would be like that it's like Alexander the Great, who wept because he had no other worlds to conquer. It's like, well, you've destroyed this family and you won the palace. And now what? I'm going to Disneyland? Like, what does that leave for him to do or accomplish? I guess just being that guy is enough now.
It was a weirdly exuberant note to end things on. I agree. I know that we shouldn't review the movie we want it to be. We should review the movie that it is. But I feel like a much more powerful ending would have been him by himself. Like, he's standing by all the graves, right? He's got all the rocks. Everyone's gone. He has the place. And now what? I think the idea of the abyss is more terrifying than him having a frantic dance around the house, Right.
Well, here's the thing, that's the Ripley ending. I think she would have been accused of ripping that off, where he has to kill the guy because Cate Blanchett shows up and ruins everything, and it's like, oh well, you were not like. That's the irony here, is that you are cursed to be alone because anybody else would invade your web of lies, and so you would just have to eliminate them. And so, I get the idea of like that moment of exuberance. It's his Joker dance, if you will. But then what?
Yeah. Anyway, I liked this a lot for a long time. And then just our friend Ben was at the screening with me.
Yes.
And we did a quick little out of the theater reaction. And we had a whole long talk afterward about this very thing. Like, I wish that she had, I don't know, trusted us more. There's so much that is so bold in this film, visually, narratively, in terms of just, specific pieces of dialogue, that I feel like this ending is weirdly feel good. And maybe that's bold in and of itself. I don't know, but I find it kind of a letdown.
Yeah, no, it is, I think, an audacious choice to let the bad guy win. And I'm fine with that. I'm not mad at it, but it also should be about something else. Like, now that that's happened, what else? What else has he got? How does that affect him? Because if he's a sociopath, so it's like, he's happy now, but like, is he going to be bored that he has nobody else left to outmaneuver? Like, what? I don't know. I think if you're going to give us that complicated a character, yay, hooray, I won, isn't an interesting enough ending.
I also have a lot of questions about how old everyone's supposed to be. Rosamund Pike does not age.
Bless her. That's what money does.
Anyway, let us know what you guys thought. If you enjoyed it, if you squirmed or giggled or thought it ended well, and we will do more of these for you down the road. Thanks.
Bye.